What is going on, guys? It's Reflex here, and this is just a theory video, and to be honest, this is going to be as far of a reach as possible. But you know, I was a fiend in Kingdom Hearts 3, at least the road to it, for Sephiroth versus Cloud, the final, or just even a Sephiroth secret boss fight for Kingdom Hearts 3. I wanted that trilogy, the ending battle, to be done. You know, I wanted us to just get a final chapter of it, because even though he was saying it was getting redundant, I don't necessarily think anyone else agreed with that. I'm probably wrong, but for me personally, and I know a lot of people agree, Sephiroth was an integral part of like the secret, the secret bosses that people loved. I mean, I loved, and every single time I remember seeing him in the very first game when I was back when I played this for the first time, and I stumbled across what was it, the Platinum Cup? Well, I guess originally it was just a whole bunch of question marks, but you fight him for the first time, and if you played Final Fantasy VII prior to playing this, you're like, oh my god, they really like, Cloud and all them. They surprise you. Probably when you saw Cloud originally, you were probably thinking like, is Sephiroth gonna be here? They wouldn't do that. And then you stumble across this boss, and of course, in Sephiroth fashion, he's hard as shit. Kingdom Hearts 2, same deal. And what both of these games have in common, and kind of what Cloud and Sephiroth always brings to every single game that they're a part of, is a cool ass fight scene. Kingdom Hearts 1, they had a cool fight scene. Kingdom Hearts 2, cool fight scene. Even like fast forward to Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, you have that whole reveal of Sephiroth, and he had the Advent Children style boss fight with Cloud, which was awesome. And everyone that watched Advent Children freaked out in that moment because it was just crazy. It was pure just, oh my gosh, just fan service at its finest. But I loved it. Cool character. But as well as, I mean, Final Fantasy VII Remake, obviously, we got a cool fight with Cloud and Sephiroth. Every single game, we've gotten something cool with them too. But Kingdom Hearts 3, the road to Kingdom Hearts 3, I was hoping that we were actually going to get something Sephiroth related. And obviously news was coming out that he felt that, people weren't going to want to fight him again. It was getting redundant. Because, I mean, it would be the third time we fought the same exact character. And, I mean, we don't really necessarily fight the same character. I guess maybe we did end up fighting Xemnas like 3 times total in the series. Ansem we fought numerous times. I mean, we fought a lot of the same bosses. So I don't necessarily agree with it being redundant because, I mean, it was just a cool boss fight. And, I mean, even from Kingdom Hearts 1 to Kingdom Hearts 2, he changed. Like, the fight changed, and it got arguably easier in my opinion. I think Kingdom Hearts 1 Sephiroth boss fight was a lot harder than Kingdom Hearts 2's, but that's just my opinion. But Kingdom Hearts 3, I was really thinking we were going to get something. Come to find out after playing the game, 100%ing it on the Xbox, which is crazy. Yeah, I didn't play the PS4 version like I wanted to. I did later, but come to find out, we didn't get a Sephiroth boss fight. The trilogy was not solidified, and I went to Twitter to talk about it and everything, but then I thought about it, remembering the ending of the Kingdom Hearts 2 Sephiroth boss fight with Cloud and Sephiroth. You originally beat Sephiroth, and then he tells you go find Cloud and bring him to him, and they have this little battle. They have this cool ass battle, just like Kingdom Hearts 1. And then Tifa gets brought in. Obviously, Sephiroth is like, the light doesn't suit you, blah, blah, blah. And then Tifa's like, you can have my light. And Cloud says, I just don't know. And they go, he gets the light and goes to fight Sephiroth again. And then Sephiroth stops, flies in the air, Cloud follows. And then all of a sudden, they disappear. Now, this is where I think it gets interesting, because this is why I thought we were going to get a third part, because Tifa they ask her, Tifa, what are you going to do? And Tifa says, guess I'll keep looking. So that means that she's going to keep looking, and there's still, more, an arc that we have yet to finish. I feel like it's not solidified until Tifa and Cloud are kind of at rest. Tifa finally finds Cloud and like just has him stay, and Cloud defeats the darkness within him, which is Sephiroth. So what's interesting is that after they disappear, there's obviously this great battle that, the finishing touches that we just don't see. What happens if they're actually in Quadratum? I know it's crazy, but just hear me out. Quadratum is a Final Fantasy world, in my opinion. Obviously, it's just taking a lot of similarities from Final Fantasy Versus 13 as well as Final Fantasy 15, and having that be a Final Fantasy heavy inspired world. Wouldn't it make sense if we got maybe that last... I'm not saying we need Final Fantasy characters in this world, because we're going to get Yozora, we're going to get these Prompto lookalikes, these Ignis and Gladio and Arden lookalikes, you know, like we saw in the Verum Rex trailer in Toy Box. But what happens if in that world, Sephiroth or maybe Riku stumbles across, or even Sora, depending on how Kingdom Hearts 4 goes, but imagine one of those characters stumbles across a battle happening, or maybe he stumbles across Cloud damaged, or just he lost the battle, or just something to where Sora needs to help him, and then he goes find Sephiroth to finish off the final battle. This would be the ending trilogy of kind of the secret boss trilogy that we've been loving since, you know, Kingdom Hearts 1. I've enjoyed every single fight with Sephiroth. And I mean, technically, I guess you don't fight him in Melody of Memory, but you do play a song. So, I mean, the song is still in our hearts there. So, just, if he's in Quadratum, it would make sense. They went someplace. Tifa obviously never found him. Probably still looking. That's why we never see Tifa. You know, she wasn't with the Restoration Committee in Radiant Garden and Melody of Memory, Melody of Memory as well as Kingdom Hearts Remind. So, I mean, there was no remnants of her. So it would make sense that she would not know where to go. She's still looking, and no one knows where Cloud is. She didn't know. She said Light's easy to find, but she didn't necessarily know where to go. And if we think about how Quadratum is, it's a place where you can't really sense anyone. You can't hear anyone on the other side, which is kind of what we see in Remind when, you know, you see Sora speaking but no sound is coming through, and that's just because that person's on the other side. When he was speaking to Yozora for the first time, obviously he ended up on the other side. But imagine we just get a final battle of Sephiroth and Cloud, because in my opinion it would make sense. And obviously it's a stretch and it's quite a reach. It is, I get it, but I am a fiend for just wanting to end this. This was a saga of its own, in my opinion, you know? Like, it was something that I not only wanted to play, I wanted to fight him in Kingdom Hearts 3 because I thought it'd be hard. But at this point now, it just makes sense, you know? But say we do get the trilogy ender, say it does go the way I'm thinking, and we see Cloud beat up, and he says Sephiroth, you know, did this to him. He can't seem to rid himself of the darkness. And then maybe we just hear, I don't know, Sephiroth speak, you know, kind of just scarily over, you can't even see him yet, and then he says something like,
"You need darkness. Give up, Cloud. I will never be a memory."
You know, something just Sephiroth-esque, you know, maybe a callback to Advent Children or something like that. Just imagine. And then you fight Sephiroth right then and there, and obviously Sora, being the man he is, he's going to protect Cloud, and he's going to defeat Sephiroth, and this fight with Sephiroth should definitely not only be the hardest, I say it should probably have maybe an extra phase, because we've only ever had like one phase of Sephiroth. We've never seen him really go full power in the Kingdom Hearts games. Imagine he goes full power, like he goes the phase we know in Final Fantasy VII. I mean, I'm not going to spoil it just in case, you know, you guys haven't played the original, or even you want to keep, you know, it kind of blind for the remake of part 2 and 3, depending on when they get to the certain part. But you guys know the form I'm talking about. You know exactly what I want them to build up to if they decide to do a trilogy. This has to be the all-out battle. Full power Sora going against full power Sephiroth to end it all. Maybe even Cloud will help you. Maybe somehow, I don't even know. Just they could do something. They could honestly do something that could be amazing. And given the cutscenes that we've seen in Kingdom Hearts 3, and imagine how they'll be utilized in future Kingdom Hearts if it's a mainline game that they introduce Sephiroth again in, and imagine it's the Unreal Engine 5 that they use for the next game, which they probably will. But, oh man, imagine that cutscene. It's literally going to be Advent Children probably, and it'll just be crazy, and I can't wait. Now, like I said, obviously a humongous reach. But let me know down in the comment section below. Do you want a Sephiroth trilogy boss fight? Do you want it to finally, you know, be the end of the arc and end with a banger? Or do you not want to see him anymore? Do you agree with Nomura that it is redundant and that he really, he played well, not really his role, but he played his part in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 by being a cool secret boss, and that's where it ends. Like I said, I know a lot of people that wants a part 3 to this, the ender, but you could have a different opinion. But yeah, just let me know down in the comment section below your thoughts about this, and hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, and you guys know the drill. I will see you guys later.